Hey YouTube, how's it going? So, breach scarabs have become incredibly expensive after Imperium's recent video showing how breach is really good and really fun to farm. So, as a byproduct of that, Legion scarabs are incredibly cheap. These are 2 for 1C in bulk on Fausta. These are 2 for 1C. And the officer scarab is 1 for 1. So, all these scarabs, these 20, 40, 80, 24, 60, 80, 100. 80 of these were 40C, and this is another 20C. So this all together is 60C for 20 maps worth of scarabs. So that's really, really, really cheap. The Atlas passive tree is pretty simple. It's just every single Legion node you can get, except for Timeless Conflict and Protracted Battle, because this gives the Legion encounters increased duration. I don't want them to have increased duration. I just want them to open up as fast as possible. If you don't have a fast character with really, really high like speed and clearing, then you might need to take this. Otherwise, you don't need to take this at all. You can take this if you have a very good coverage character as well. So the thing with legions is that they automatically open up if you opt open every single monster in the legion. So if you have something like a kinetic blast build that will just tear apart the entire screen, even if you play with your eyes closed, then you can take this. It'll make it even easier. For me, I have to somewhat walk over a mob, and if a mob is left with like 1 HP, and I can't really see it, then it just doesn't open. Besides this, we take all the rest of the nodes. We don't take this one because we don't really care about generals. Generals are the unique bosses inside of legions. They don't really give much loot. The main loot in Legion comes from the war hordes. So those are the chests that you open. These have currency, divination cards, stack decks. So that's the main thing. The main loot will be coming from the divine orbs and the expensive gift cards that we're going to be getting from this. Besides that, we do have Marquette and Templars with an increased chance. These are the expensive emblems. These are like, I think Marquette is like 40C. This is like 38C. And the rest of these are literally like 3 to 4C. These are worthless. And besides that, we also take this one. This has a chance to roll on each individual splinter to drop as an emblem. So if you open up a chest and that chest drops 30 splinters, then each of those splinters has a 0.6% chance to turn into an emblem. So 30 splinters, 0.6 chance, like 5% chance for to get one emblem out of those 30 splinters, which is pretty good, especially if you roll one of the Marquette and Templar ones. Besides that, we have logistical support. This just makes it so the Legion monsters in your maps have an additional reward. So similar to the warlords, you'll see this reward icon on top of the Legion monster. And when you kill it, it will drop that reward type. That can be currency, that can be fossil, that can be essence, it can be anything. So that's why that's good. And then this is just Legion chests in your maps containing an additional grinding reward. This is just boosting your warlords, like doubling the loot that you get from them. Besides that, you don't really need anything else. I just put in a bunch of Scarab, Scarab map effects, all the map effects. And then I didn't really need anything else, so I went for shrines. However, for you, I would recommend if you have a decent PC, then you should definitely go for Delirium and Beyond. I recommend Delirium because you'll be killing so many monsters with Legion that you'll just stack up those Delirium reward tiles really, really nicely. And you'll get like something around 50, 60 simulacrum splinters maybe per map if you take this node. So that's like in 4 maps, 5, 6 maps, you'll have an entire simulacrum. It's just good extra side loot without really needing to do anything. Besides that, I did add Nico because I just had extra points and I didn't really know what to do with them. So I added Nico, added Shrine, just for, some extra speed and power. And that's it. So I'm going to be running 20 maps because that's the new internal Atlas storage. You can store 20 maps in these, so it just feels convenient to run 20 maps for each strat. So I'll be running this and we'll see. So it's again 60C for 20 maps plus the 7C to craft Legion on with the Atlas device. Now, I don't know if this is worth it. Honestly, 7C for 2 additional Legions when each Scarab is like 0.5C for 1 Legion. I don't know if that's worth it, but we'll see in the end if it makes us a bunch of currency. All right, so in. I am using just Alt and Go maps, Alt Chisel Go. I'm using Basilicas because Basilica has very good diff cards. And I don't really care about the layout that much. I'm just going around to each part of the map, finishing the legions, and leaving. So this build can do this really quickly. I do have a headhunter. Headhunters are very cheap. So if you are going to do this on any build, just slap on a headhunter and go nuts. So you can see here, I'm clearing these pretty quick. But there's probably like some monster hidden away in the middle of it somewhere right now where I can't even see them, which is why I don't want to take increased duration. Here you saw that I basically cleared the entire thing right as the duration ended. There's one thing to note. Look at me. I didn't click that. It just popped up. That is because I am using this mastery right here. 25% chance to open nearby spells when you cast a chest when you cast a spell. So that's pretty convenient. Just makes it a lot smoother. I don't have to go around clicking with the individual chests. I can just open them up myself. Here you can see there's a bunch of rare monsters and warhordes with a lot of different reward tiles on top of them. That's basically where you get all your loot. You don't even need to scale the map effects that much. You can just get flat loot from the chest that you're opening up. There's even a unique monster here. You can see that if I kill this, I'll just show how it drops basically nothing. Ooh, okay. Well, this guy dropped some. He did drop like 2 emblems that is from the passive tree. I got lucky and rolled 2 of them as full emblems. That's rare. That's not really supposed to happen. Come on, game, don't make me look bad. And yeah, of course, along with that, we are running Eldritch Vultures just for some extra juice. That's it. You don't have to run them at all if your build can do them. This build, the way it's set up, and we have low budgets that I'm using for this, I'm probably not going to be clicking many altars. Maybe just the very, very free ones like Burning Ground or Consecrating Ground. That's mostly it.
Give no ground!
So, as you can see, it's pretty chill. The main thing about it is that it's very chill. If you've been farming like, I don't know, Juiced, Tier 17, Risk, Scarab, Abyss stuff, this isn't that. This is very chill. The chances of you dying here are very low. You can do these in Tier 16.5s if you want to. I'm just not doing it. I'm doing it for people who aren't that strong yet in their builds, but they have a build that can just clear really quickly. So yeah. Well, there we go. That could have been a divine out of that currency box, but it was an exalted instead. Yay. I would recommend to loot as you're clearing this. That's the whole point. But right now, since I'm recording, I'm not really going to be focusing on the looting part. I can do something afterwards. Here's my eco stuff.
This'll do nicely, Exile. This'll do nicely.
So now I just have a bunch of extra power thanks to Nico and the shrines. So now I'll be going over through. I didn't even have RF on. That's fine. So oops. So the one thing about Basilica is that it doesn't have the best layout for this. So you saw here, the Legion was right up in the corner, so there weren't any mobs that could have spawned on that side of the Legion. I don't really want that. You want to have as much space for your Legions to spawn as many monsters as possible. So Dunes is the best map for that. If you can run Basilicas and find a nameless seer in your Basilica map and scry off the divination card drops from Basilica into Dunes for this, that would be really good. Dunes or Jungle Valley or City Square is also a really good one. So one of those maps.
This'll do nicely, Exile.
But yeah, you can see, you get the point by now. Yeah, I wish this could have been a nameless seer instead of a reflecting mist. Oh, bad. It's not bad.
I need more mana.
And yeah, you cannot open two legions at the same time, unfortunately. That would be very nice if you could, but you just can't. Unfortunately, you just can't. And yeah, you can also use all the incubators that you find in the legions. They'll be very good. They might drop a divide, they might drop some stacked decks.
I'll move on. I charge by the minute.
And that's it. I think that's pretty much it. I've cleared the entire map. Just trying to clear up this last legion as soon as it pops open. And I think that's everything. Oh, there's this guy.
Fall back to the supplies.
One
Oh,
mistake. That's
well,
all it takes.
there you go. And yeah, I'll see you guys back in 19 more maps. And here we are done with 20 maps, and the results are quite promising. So I took out all the garbage and I cleaned up the stash, and this is everything that's left. Everything in here is worth something or the other, either for selling or for data purposes. So first of all, we got back 21 maps, so we just barely oversustained, along with also getting 5 tier 16.5 and 1 tier 17 map. So either we got a bunch of fossils. Some of these are pretty decently priced. Dense fossils are like 5C each. There's a 1 bound fossil in here somewhere. There it is. There's some decent fossils. We have a bunch of incubators left over. Now, I was only using ornate the entire time. I never used mysterious. I used like 2 thaumaturge, and the rest was all ornates for the entire time. I think I used like 20 to 30 ornate incubators. It was like 2.5 maps to clear one of them, and I could equip 8 of them at once. So that's that. And I still have 4 level 85s and 4 level 83s. So the difference between these incubators is the higher the level is, the more chances you have of getting something nice out of it. So the 85 ones, that's where I got a Divine and Exalt once. And then most of the 83 ones were just a Chaos Orb or maybe an Exalt, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe I missed it, but I did try to separate them. And I didn't. The only time I noticed the Divine was from the incubator, and one of the Exalts was from the incubator. I did not notice any of the other ones, but I'm pretty sure the other ones came from boxes and not from incubators. Besides that, we oversustained on chisels, we oversustained on scours, we got a decent amount of GCPs. So I separated the Chaos Orbs here because these are 100. So apparently, while I was running the maps, the 7C cost of the craft was actually coming out of these instead of coming out of my stash currency tab. So I just ended up replacing them over here. And besides that, over the amount that we used, we actually got 44 above it. 9 ejects, a very decent amount of stacked decks. We got 89 stacked decks. That's like, I don't know, like 5 stacked decks a map ish. And we got like 31 greater Elvish Embers. I probably could have gotten like hundreds of lesseries too, but I'm hiding them from my filter. Besides that, 1 good card, I mean, slightly good card, is the Asnas Gently Touch, 2 implicits. Synthesized bow, +1 solid support gems. Not sure if this is worth anything, didn't really check. Just put it in here, because why not? And 1 +2 level of physical skill gems. Amulet, again, nothing crazy, probably not good. But then we come to the emblems. That is where the majority of the loot is going to be. So white emblems are like 2C, 3C each. So this entire row over here is like 60C. Wild emblems are like 10C each. So this is like 200-ish C. Kauri emblems are the same as Eternal Emblem. They're like 2, 3C each. So this is like 40C. Marquette emblems, however, are like 45C each. So this is like 400C potentially, and Templar emblems are also like 38C each. So this is also probably around 350 to 400C. That's pretty good, along with the actual raw device that we found. And all of this was just in 20 maps, and it was also in a bad layout. I was in Basilica because I was trying to find the Nameless Seer through this strat so that I could scry a good map for my next strat, but that didn't work out. I didn't find a Nameless Seer. I found a bunch of Reflecting Mists. This was the only like slightly like 1C item to get out of the Reflecting Mists. The rest were all really bad. Gold, I did get 200,000 gold around 20 maps. I had 300K when I started this. Now I have 500K in the end. So that's like 10K gold per map, right? Yeah, 10K gold per map. Not that much gold. Doesn't really need to be. I have no rarity gear on me either. And now I'm going to take this tab, throw it into LPX. I'm going to remove the splinters because they might get overvalued. I'm going to remove all the maps because no one really wants to sell maps. You know, I'm going to keep the fossils, keep everything else because it's raw, liquidatable stuff. I am going to remove the low item level incubators. I'm just going to keep the high and low ones because those actually sell pretty quickly in bulk. The lower ones do not. And see you in LPX. Okay, so Wealthy Excel was not pricing things properly. So we're going to use the old-fashioned way and see how much you can actually get for this stuff on Faustus. So Templar emblems fell in price a bit. They're 25C each. Maraketh emblems are 32C each. Karui emblems are 1C each. And Eternal Empire emblems are 2C each, and then wild emblems are still 10C. Okay, so we got the prices of that. So now we can manually price the things that we need to manually price. So here we go. We get our calculator out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 times 25 is 300C. 300C plus 10 Maraketh emblems, so that is 320C plus 320. We have 13, 14 to 16 wall emblems, so that's 160. We have 24 Eternal Empire emblems at 2C each, so that is 48C. And then we have, oh wait, yeah, and then we have 18 Karui ones, that's 36C. And then we have, is that it? Was that? Yeah. So that's done there. I'm going to manually price check the ornates and the ornates. So that is 5C each for the item level 83 ornates. So that is 20C. And it's 10C each for the 85 one. So that is 40C. It's 924. Each of these tier 16.5 maps are, say, around 20C. They are good layouts, all of them. So let's say 20C. So that's another 100. Sanctuary map is like 20C singular maybe. So we have no bulk, so that's 20C. Well, that's another 20. So I have 1044. And I think the rest of this should be safe to directly import into the exile. So that's 1044. So that's not going to take out. I'm going to take out all these emblems, and then we're going to wealthy exile the rest of them and see what's up. All right, everything that I didn't want wealthy exile to check has been removed. And now we'll see exactly how much this entire tab is worth. All raw currency, all stuff that you can immediately sell. So wealthy exile, refresh the tab. All right, so that is 12 div in here. So we go back to the calculator. So 1044, 12 div is 1044 divided by 218. That's how much a div is currently. That's 4.7 plus 12. That is 16.7 div in the end. So out of this, how much did we spend on the strat itself? Well, that was 60C for all the scarabs, right? Yeah, 60 for all the scarabs, and then 7C per map for the mapcraft device. So that's another 140C for the map craft, and 20 maps. So that's, let's just say 4C per map. So that's another 100C. So it's 300C per map, not including the chisels. Let's just say like plus 60C for the chisels. There you go. 360C divided by 218 for div, that's 1.65. So we have 16.7 minus 1.65. That is 15.5. How long did it take to run this? Well, it took me around 5 minutes per map. So by that logic, it's 100 minutes. 100 divided by 60 is 1.66. So 15.05 divided by 1.66 is a 9 div an hour. Is that good? Not really. It's not really that good. But remember, this is a pretty easy strat to run. It's not 8-bot maps. It's simple Alchemy Go Legion, just like the good old days. And I did this on a very bad layout in Basilica. If you were doing this on Dunes, you would have gotten way, way, way more just generic loot because your Legion monster would have been more spread out monsters. Needs more warhords, more generals, more sergeants, more good stuff. You can also do this into your 16.5s. You can do this into your 17s. That'll multiply the loot by like twice as much maybe, without really changing the map cost that much. However, I would recommend to not do the map device craft for 7C. I think that's way too much. If you're just doing simple Alchemy Go Legion, spending an extra 7C per map is not worth it. So if I was to calculate this without that, so then it would just be 60C for the Scarabs, 100C for the maps, and 60C for the other stuff, the chisels. That's 220C, that's one div. So then instead of 16.7, that's then 15.7. 15.7 divided by 1.66 is 9.5 div. It's not that big of a difference. But I still would recommend just not waste an extra 7C per map. It's just not worth it. It also makes you do a lot more clicking around in the legions inside the map itself. It's up to you if you want to do that. You can also just switch that off and just take generic quant on the map device. That might be even better, potentially. So, Legion, I'd say, outside of the currency part, it was pretty fun. It was really, really fun to run. It's just street-wide explosions, getting a bunch of emblems, getting a bunch of incubators, raw currency, and all of this stuff is like instant sell. It's raw currency, it's raw emblems, all of this stuff you can just sell to Faustus immediately, and it's gone, done, easy peasy. So if you want to try this, I do recommend it. Go and have fun with some Legion. Bye-bye.